So today for VR and non-VR, to warm up, we're revisiting crosswords. I'm not going to go through the example they give you on the page because I don't like it, because for some reason they have used the same word in the crossword twice, which generally you never see. Instead, we'll look at the one below, the one that has the word 10 written in. So to recap with crosswords, when we've got to put words in like this, the best way to do it is to look for a good place to start. That means choosing a word that has one of the letters that's already been given to you in a place that none of the other words you have to place in it have. So for instance, I'm going to choose to start with age because it's the only one that ends with the letter E. We could also have chosen to start with yon because it's the only one that ends with the letter N. Once we have got age, or once you've got the first word written in, you can use that to decide which word to go next. So I've got to take one of the photographs here, but I've chosen to put a go in, and then I've also put yon in. And then that finally leaves the last word, which is say, which also gives us the word sat, which is going down. It's always a good idea to tick the words as you've placed them in and then to make sure you have used all of the words. Even though this seems very straightforward at the moment, it's a good habit to get into because as you get older, the crosswords will become more complicated in nature that you have to do within VR. Right, pause the video while you complete the rest of the sheet. Hopefully it won't take you too long. Then get a coloured pencil and we'll restart the video and you can mark your answers as I go through the crosswords. So with your coloured pencil we're going to mark these. I'm going to go through the first few one at a time. So here I would start with map because it's the only one beginning with M. Once we have map in we can put pot in because again it's the only one that begins with P. I hope you remember to tick the words off as you went along. Now we can put a go in because it's the only one that ends in O. And finally we just need to put the letter E in to complete our crossword, which will make the words age and net. Right, there's two words that are logical to start with on this crossword. I've chosen to start with God, or you could have started with one. Now you have those in place, you can put a go in, going down, and then finally you can put the O in to make ode, as well as a do, and you've completed the crossword. Right, this crossword with do written down, a good place to start would be and, because it's the only word that ends in a D. Once you've got and in, it lets you place now in, because you know where now will go, because it's the only one that begins with an N. Now that you have now in, it lets you place two across the middle, and then finally you are left with placing the E to complete the crossword, making the words 8 and U, as in you, which is a female sheep. Right, this is the last one I'm going to go through in step by steps, and I would start here with the word 8 because it's the only one that has a T as the middle letter. Once you've got 8 in, it allows you to place the word U across the bottom because U is the only one that begins with the letter E. Now that you've already placed U in, you can place the final word that you need to place in, art, across the top. Then go back through the words on the side to make sure that you've also placed the word row and toe. Right, the last three crosswords, I've just put the answers up, so pause the video each time so that you can mark them. Award yourself the maximum of 2 house points depending on how well you've done and how hard you've tried. Right, now you're going to do non-VR paper 1. Please pay particular attention to the examples and what the question says, unlike I did last week when I got the whole page wrong. The paper is fairly straightforward, apart from probably a couple of questions. So when you get to question 10, you're looking at sequencing. So the pictures are telling a story and you have to decide which one would come next in that sequence in the story. The same for number 11. The next one that is slightly tricky is question 19. Pay attention to what has happened to the image. For question 24, pay attention to the suit of the card. That means that picture symbol in the corners. Right, now pause the video while you complete the paper. Then once you've checked it, get a coloured pencil and press play, and we'll go through the answers. Right, with a coloured pencil, pause the video as you need to and mark your answers. Hopefully this week I have got them all right. So 1 is A because it's the digital clock. 2 is E because it's a microphone. The others are all things you look through. 3 is B because it's frying pan, use it for cooking. The others are all gardening type things. 4 is B because it doesn't have a fireplace, it's just a fire. And 5 is A because it's a lid rather than like a pan or a pot. Right, next page. So number 6 is C because it's a shuttlecock. The others are all balls. Number 7 is E because the pocket is towards the top of the jacket rather than around the waist. 8 is A because it's not found in the kitchen where the other objects are. And number 9 is a sequence. So the next in that pattern would be the traffic lights because they come after the no entry sign. Next page then. Next in that sequence is D. They're just about to start the match. You can tell because the scoreboard says 0-0. Next, the gentleman or boy in the cap is getting on the bus, so it is B. He's queued, and then he's at the front of the queue, then he'll be on the bus to pay for it. Number 12 is more straightforward. After the spanner is the saw, so it is E. Right, next page. Question 13. We have sequences of the moon, and the next in the sequence will be C, where the moon is full. 14, the next in that sequence, so after the wine glass will be the pint glass, so it would be A. 15 with the washing sequence. The next in the sequence will be C, with the washing actually being done in the washing machine. 16 is more straightforward. So after the guitar is the saxophone. Right, next page then. So the football boot is to the footballer as the welly boots would be to the gardener, so it is D. Horse is to horse box, which transports horses, as cat is to the cat box or the cat case, which would be D, because you use that to carry your cat to the vets in. 19, the book has changed shape. It has gone much shorter and wider, so the picture is D, because that has also changed shape. 20, mitt is to hand as sock is to foot, so it's C. Ink is to pen as paint is to brush, so it's B. Horse is to stripes, which has turned into a zebra, as the jumper would be to stripes, so it would be D. And the dog has gone on top of his kennel, so the cat has gone on top of his box. So the cat on top of the box is C. Right, next page. So ace of hearts is to jack of hearts, as ace of spades is to jack of spades, so that would be E. The next one, you have to find which of the pictures the object is hidden in. So 25 is the nib of the pen, so it is C. 26 is a pair of trousers, and that is C on the golfer. 27, the propeller is E on that plane. And finally, the last page is mirror reflection. So the reflection of 28 is B. The reflection of 29 is E. And the reflection of number 30 is C. Count up your score and send me a picture of it, along with the picture of the crosswords. Well done. Award yourself some house points depending on how well you think you have done again.